ba. Do 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 do. Hey. Oh, hi there. Welcome, friends, to a new installment in our Books and Coffee channel, or videos, whatever these are. Anyway, guys, yes, this is a new section of the YouTube channels that we're gonna do, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to the Manga Vibes. Yes. Anyway, getting back to some, normalcy. Or you know what? Nah, I love being silly, so you're welcome. Anyway, guys, yes, so this video is gonna be the first of many, hopefully, but I am gonna be doing some manga reviews for you and recommendations. And I figured since we are in the midst of our science fiction romance in Books and Coffee, I figured why not make the first episode of our Manga Vibes video something that has a little bit of a science fiction, maybe some romance. I mean, there's many ships, and you know what? Just some fun fantasy and just total bizarreness that I am so excited to share with you. And yes, so the manga that we are going to be vibing with today is actually Eden Zero, written by Hiromi Mashima. Now, I have volumes 1 through 7 all right here. So this is, my little mini collection. Very proud of it. Definitely going to be collecting the rest of it. I am behind. I think they're on volume 14 right now, so a little behind, but we'll catch up. But yeah, so this video, we're just gonna be reviewing and talking about volumes 1 through 7. Not too many spoilers. I won't give too many out, as I really just want y'all to enjoy this. And then, maybe in the future when we do another Manga Vibes catching up on Eden Zero, we will probably make that one a little bit more spoiler. But for now, it's just like, let's talk Eden Zero and let's have so much fun. So before jumping into how amazingly fun Eden Zero is, I really want to touch a little bit on Hiromi Mashima as the author / mangaka of the series. So Hiromi Mashima was actually born on May 3rd, 1977 in Nanago, Japan. And he's actually written 3 series. His first one is what gave him success, which is Rave Master, which is actually a manga that was actually one of my first few manga that I read that I actually got to finish. And it was actually introduced to me by my very, very best friend, Ty, back home. Hi, Ty. But yeah, so they introduced me to Rave Master and I absolutely loved it. It was such a super fun manga to read. It was super silly, super high fantasy, and oh my gosh, the ships. Oh my gosh, the ships, they were so real. There was so much heartache and so much vigorous and it was so great. But then of course, he went on to writing yet again another series that got very popular, which most of you may actually know, which is the series Fairy Tail. And that one, I haven't finished the manga, but I did finish the anime, and I love the anime. I absolutely adore it. Favorite ships forever are Gajil and Levi. Ship them forever. So happy they became canon. If you're not done with the anime and you watch, so sorry, not sorry. But yes, and so obviously his third series is now Eden Zero, which is also has an anime. I came to find out while doing a little bit of research, which is actually streaming now on Netflix. So if you want to read the manga with me and then we can geek out and watch the anime, please join me. So when it comes to volume 1 of Eden Zero, it was actually published on November 6th, 2018, which I'm kind of surprised that that's when it came out, because I didn't actually hear about Eden Zero or actually see it in Barnes and Noble anywhere until 2020 when the pandemic hit. But that was also the previous year I had to stop buying books because books pile up, and when you buy books in a plethora, you tend to just leave them there for 2 years. And then you just never get to them. So I kind of had to stop. Plus, as any one of my nerdies will tell you, manga collecting is an expensive hobby. It is an expensive hobby. But we do it anyway. But yes, like I said, I believe that Eden Zero has like a volume up to 15 volumes. I think it's 15, yeah. So they got 15 volumes out right now. Like I said, I've only got like 1 through 7, but holy crap, is it so much fun. But again, it's like I'm just a sucker for Hiromi Mashima sensei. I love his work. I love the art style. And I love like the basic message of like friendship is the ultimate power. like it doesn't matter like what kind of like, you know, terror falls upon any of his characters in any of the series. Friendship, when you come together, defeats all. And magic, whether you use like magic, whether you carry a giant sword, or in this case, whether you are in outer space and have to fight a bunch of space people. It's really fun. So yeah, so to give a little plot summary, in terms of not really like the whole series as a whole, but you know, at least volume 1, so that way you all know what you're gonna be getting into when you pick this up. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and read the back and then we'll get started. At Grand Bell Kingdom, an abandoned amusement park, Shiki has lived his entire life among machines. But one day, Rebecca and her cat companion Happy appear at the park's front gates. Little do these newcomers know that this is the first human contact Grand Bell has had in 100 years. As Shiki stumbles his way into making new friends, his former neighbors stir at the opportunity for a robo-rebellion. And when his old homeland becomes too dangerous, Shiki must join Rebecca and Happy on their spaceship and escape into the boundless cosmos. So yeah, so that's basically the start of Eden Zero on volume 1, is we basically just get a quick little introduction into our 2 top main characters, which is Shiki, Rebecca, and Happy. If you are a fan of Fairy Tail, yes, no, Happy the cat is still in the series, but of course, he's a kind of different Happy. And I'm not gonna lie, I thoroughly enjoy that. Like, yes, there are a lot of repeat characters. Hiromi Mashima sensei will always bring in kind of like his mascot and Happy, as well as the little dog Plu. Is kind of like his like go-to mascots and go-to little side characters that he will bring in that either become main characters or they're just there for comic relief. And let me tell you, this Happy in Eden Zero is the funnest and cutest little thing in the entire world. I love him so much. But yeah, honestly guys, I am just having so much fun reading this. I definitely absolutely recommend you get this series. It is super fun. You can definitely find it at your local comic book store. You can definitely find it at Barnes & Noble, or wherever you choose to read. If you choose to read digitally, I do know that they have it in digital format as well. But yeah, it's just so much fun. And I think the reason that I thoroughly enjoy Eden Zero is because, like I said previously, I've read the Rave Master series, which I think only went up to like volume 35, 34. I can't remember exactly the number. But just the way Hiromi Mashima sensei writes his stories and writes his characters, they all have really funny quirks, and they're just like, you just connect with them so easily. And the worlds he builds, like, it's so much fun. Like, oh man, I want to be in them so bad. It's such a completely different adventure. And you know, I do get, you know, what a lot of people in terms of like with different mangakas, especially when they have such a similar art style and their characters either look the same or they act the same, they have very similar personalities. And while that is 100% true, the thing is that in each of the series, it kind of like the characters kind of are inspirations from the previous characters, and then they become their own character, and they create own personalities and their own things. And that's, to me, what is so beautiful. So again, for example, Shiki, our main character, he's very definitely drawn with that goofy smile and that like crazy optimism that in the previous series, Fairy Tail, Natsu has. But of course, Shiki is his own character. He is nothing like Natsu. Yes, he still is kind of quirky and silly and very rambunctious. But at the end of the day, Shiki will say and do certain things that Natsu wouldn't necessarily do. And that, to me, is what makes Shiki his own character. And it's the same thing with Natsu in Fairy Tail. Natsu is definitely inspired by Haru from Rave Master, who is the main character in that one. And, you know, Haru was more calm and collective. And yes, he was rambunctious and stuff. But, you know, he inspired Natsu. And Natsu's, you know, rambunctiousness and optimism. But he's just more loud and crazy. And it's amazing. And then, you know, then you go from Natsu to Shiki. And then Shiki takes that crazy rambunctious optimism that Natsu has, and he kind of incorporates his own innocence. Because just like in Volume 1, Shiki kind of grows up in this abandoned music park with just nothing but robots. So he has like no concept of like other humans and like what the world is like. And so as you go with Shiki and Rebecca and Happy, and you get to experience all of these new crazy things with Shiki, and you just see his like bright-eyed optimism and, not gonna lie, some innocence in him. And it's so much fun. It is absolutely so much fun. And not only that, but just the infectionness that, you know, being able to see things in new lights, you know, with Rebecca getting to re-experience, you know, something as simple as like a television, or something as simple as like other people and getting to interact with other species. Like Shiki's like, oh my God, this exists. And she's like, yes, it does. And then she gets to just have fun with it. It's so much fun. And then of course you get to be introduced to all these other characters who are also inspired by previous characters, but are completely different from their inspirations. Like astronomically so in terms of like personality. Wines. It's just such a fun little manga series so far. I'm very excited to eventually watch the anime, but right now I am having so much fun reading the manga, and I definitely know any of you who are fans of Fairy Tail, or who are fans of even Rave Master and stuff, if you're looking to get back into Hiromi Mashima, I would so recommend this series. I mean, all these characters are amazingly drawn, they're amazingly written, and the story itself is just getting better and better and better, and that makes me excited. I will say that so far in terms of like the story pacing, because again, I'm only on volume 7 and they're already like at volume 14, 15. And for me personally, I feel like the story is going by really quickly. By that, I mean, they're collecting all of their, you know, groups. They're, you know, getting ready to go off and find the big lady in the space who they call Mother, which again is mind-boggling that there's just this giant goddess that's just sitting on a throne sleeping. Like, who is she? What is her story? And my God, she's beautiful. But yeah, I feel like the story's going along really fast, and to me, that makes me think like, is this mean that like the story might wrap up in like a short series? Because that's something that I feel like Hiromi Mashima sensei kind of does with his series, is that he has a big overarching story and then little things to get there. I mean, for example, like Rave Master only has up to like 35, like 34 volumes. And with Fairy Tail only had up to like, I believe 65 or like 69, something, you know, around the 60 area. But they're not, they don't go into the hundreds. They're not One Piece. So if you're waiting to even possibly start Eden Zero till once it's done, don't worry, you won't have to wait long. But something tells me that that it might end like maybe in between. Maybe Eden Zero will go maybe a little longer, maybe 90 volumes. Who knows? Maybe this will be the first series that hits the actual 100 volume. I don't know. I don't know the story, but I do know that it kind of is going quickly. So that's what makes me think that Hiromi Mashima sensei won't take too long to take the story. But at the same time, honestly, the pace though, like even if the story seems like it's going fast, I feel like it's still on pace with everything. Like, it's fast, but actually not too fast. I don't know if that makes sense. But so yeah, y'all, definitely recommend you go and you get yourself a copy of Eden Zero. I am absolutely super enjoying this. And yeah, so let us all vibe with all of the manga. But yeah, guys, I hope you like these ones. These manga vibe videos are going to be a little bit shorter than my normal book review videos. I feel like, you know, just to get a break from the monotonous big videos, you know, a little something that you could take a bite out of. And for any of you friends out there that are interested in getting into a manga, I mean, no better way to start. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, I don't want to spoil too much of it just yet. Definitely once we come back to it, I feel like I'll definitely be doing like an updated version of these as we go along. And then we'll probably go into a little bit more detail. But until then, guys, thank you, friends, so much for joining me for the first Manga Vibes video. Very short, I know, bittersweet. But yeah, stay tuned for the next one, and I'll see you later, nerds.